Okay, guys. So what we'll do is, let's just catch up. Um, Aaron, boy, I gotta watch that Aaron man. I don't know about Aaron, brother. He. Oh my goodness. You hear the topic he suggested we talk about? Polygamy?
Which one?
Polygamy. What the hell?
Yeah. My thing is, never mind. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Here's what I say on that, right? Go ahead.
What, Aaron said?
Imagine how far we are when having more than one wife. You're absolutely going to hell. But gay marriage is a human right. Come on, bro.
Okay. Well,
I will tell you, the men I know that have asked me to be a part of polygamous things and are in it, they still struggle too. So, I mean, it just depends on the man and the woman still. So
Hey, watch this, Monica.
What?
Look here. Yeah, we don't mind the struggle. But it's something to be said when you put that struggle back on her, she realize she got competition too.
There's competition, but if you can't, again, I've been the ones that have been approached by me, but I know we're not going to fully talk about that tonight. I think, James, are we going to finish the initial conversation?
Yeah. I don't want to get too deep.
Okay.
We have a tendency to stray.
I'll hold that.
Yeah.
I'll hold that.
We have a tendency to stray. So what we'll do is we're
I'm
going
to do better tonight.
What we'll do is we'll go ahead and cover a follow-up. I just wanted to follow up on some of the issues that we talked about. And Aaron, did you get that? I sent you an email.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. So there are just points that we already covered, but I just want to loop back around and make sure that we all have the same understanding on some of those topics. And Monica, also, I really would love to have you on that next talk. And if we have to do it on a different day other than Sunday, I think is Saturday okay with folks or not?
I have, like I said, go ahead, Aaron, or.
That's me. I'm good with it.
Okay, so it sounds like Monica, Saturday or Sunday is not going to be good for you this week.
This week, yeah. My daughter was asked to sing again, actually at a big community event. I want to start telling you about some of them, James, because I think they could use your perspective.
Okay.
And then they asked me to speak on the panel for the workshop.
Okay.
On the behalf of another organization that I'm doing. So it may not work this weekend.
Okay, then. So we guys will go ahead and still cover it on Sunday at 1:00 Arizona time, and then I'm sure we'll. There's stuff we probably won't get through, but anyway, we can follow up with Monica on a different day. How's that?
Okay.
That'll work.
All right. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and do the official opening, and then we'll go ahead and get into this follow up thing. Okay.
All right.
All right. Hello. Welcome to another exciting episode on DNA Hardwired, common sense turned upside down. My name is Pop, and with me are my co-hosts, Jack and his brother Aaron. We're also blessed to have a special guest with us, Monica. She's back from our last episode. So what we're going to do basically is just going to follow up on our last episode. On the last episode, Jack and Aaron, they really took Sister Monica to task in her efforts to kind of represent women and men both, and call for a truce in the battle going on between men and women today as far as relationships go. I really thought it was a lively, a little bit tested sometimes, but it was a respectful debate, on men and women's relationships today and some possible solutions to many of the common problems we face. Jack and Aaron had what would be considered by some who gave me some feedback on the episode to be very controversial and controversial thoughts and opinions about women in relationships. But they weren't afraid to voice those thoughts and opinions. So what we'll do on this episode, we'll continue our discussion with Monica and see what her thoughts are from the previous episode with Jack and Aaron and myself. And then we'll just go from there. Any initial thoughts, Jack and Monica and Aaron?
Yeah, let me throw something out here. I got to give Monica a prop because I love the way the way you stated your position.
I know it's been a couple of weeks, but I love the calmness. I like the fact that you stayed on point. So that was good. And even though Aaron and I and myself, you know, we come with the way we come, you hung in there. So shout out to you. Now pat you on the back. And by the way, your voice is needed. Like real talk, a voice like yours is actually needed. So that's basically what I'm saying.
Thank
so
you
I'm glad
so
you're here. I'm glad you're here. Real talk.
And I will share.
Now I'm coming for your head after this one. Now go ahead.
And I will share from the healing and grief workshop the things the men are sharing. So I look forward to getting you guys when we do them virtual in that conversation, because it's been absolutely amazing to give the men and women space that the men are just sharing, and it's helping the women as well. And so I thank you all for inviting me back, and I am honored to be here. Thank you.
Okay, good. Any words, Brother Aaron?
No, actually, the way we started the conversation, there was a lady that agreed with us. However, she asked in a manner that we deviated away from the conversation. First and foremost, to that person who asked, where did my disdain for women come from? I hope you didn't take the comment basically just in the wrong way. Like, I truly don't have disdain. I have a ton of disagreement. And if that comes out of this as disdain, please understand that's not my tone toward women. Okay. However, I don't agree wholeheartedly, and sometimes it's not going to come out the way that you want it to come out, especially in conversation. But I just feel like I took like we started that conversation taking shots at the person that agreed with it. I didn't like that.
Okay. I'm gonna follow up what Brother Aaron was saying about some feedback from a friend of mine, and so I'm gonna go ahead and read the actual text that she sent me. She says, "Hiya. So I finished listening to the podcast. I tell you what, good job on getting Monica in on that episode. Listening to it was like watching a good movie due to the range of emotions. Riled up, sadness about Jackie and Aaron's perception of black women, proud of Monica for handling so much negativity toward her demographics, and then happiness for Jackie and Aaron at the end as they admitted that their views had softened a bit. A really good episode. So that's kind of touched on a little bit of what Aaron was saying about at least that person's feedback. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Then, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and just get into some of the things that we discussed last time that I just wanted to loop back on and make sure get some clarification, just like Brother Aaron was just saying. You know, there could be some misunderstanding in some of the things that we said or maybe didn't say. So let's see if we can clear up some of those things. First thing here is that, and you guys correct me now when I'm off, because I know I'm going to be wrong sometimes. Aaron and Jackie said they didn't feel that they had a negative attitude toward women, as some listeners have suggested. Let me ask Monica. Monica, do you agree with Jackie and Aaron based on what you heard from the previous episode that they don't have negative attitude toward women?
I just honestly
I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot. So
yeah,
I know no
problem.
Okay, go ahead.
No problem. I told you I've been in the prison dealing with hardened criminals. So I can take this.
All right. I don't know. These two brothers are tough. Go ahead.
I think coming in there was you know, the word disdain. I didn't feel disdain at all. I think, again, and interesting, that's our brothers. So, you know, some of that could be, you know, what they've shared and what they both experienced. So I didn't feel that that was their perspective. That's what they have dealt with. I do think toward the end, we were able to kind of have more of an understanding of them being a little more willing to listen to a perspective from a woman who's also willing to listen a little bit more. Because I know sometimes even as women, we can get very defensive too, because we hear this or we hear that. as sometimes I think we did in the call, I think we stopped to hear one another better. So I do that everybody toward the end, we all stopped to say, okay, let's hear each other more. Because sometimes we have so many blinders on, men and women, we're not hearing each other anymore. And I think, again, in doing the workshops that I'm doing, and a man described grief to me like I've never heard a man describe in our workshop. So I said to him, I said, until you expressed it, I would have never heard a man expressing grief that way. So I just think it is what they have dealt with. I also think Jackie and I had a follow-up conversation after the call on our own. And so I think the biggest thing for me, and look at my daughter and the opportunity to see her sing the national anthem all weekend, one of the reasons she's been able to do what she's doing is because her father and I had to come together outside of our feelings of one another, the marriage didn't work or whatever, through lots of prayer. When she sat us down as parents and said, look, I need you all to stop arguing. I need you all to stop doing some things. And both of us had to look at each other individually and then say, okay, for the betterment of our child, what do we need to do? And I really believe he's flourishing because he and I said, okay, this is where we individually need to work on ourselves, but how do we come together for this child who deserves us to come together better? So I think that, based on the question, I think that's their experience, but I do appreciate that they both have acknowledged that they do have, women in their lives also who are supportive. And I think sometimes it's the biggest issue for me right now in the world. Not only experiencing it individually, but social media is causing us to not think sometimes even individually. How the three of us or four of us on this call, again, we're bringing solutions. So that's my biggest thing. None of the four of us can do this. So I can bring a perspective that maybe is a little different than some women. And again, I'm not the only one and I'm not any great thing, but also you all. I have to be able to listen a little bit better to you all as men to hear why you've gotten at this place. So I didn't see it as such negative. It is their experience. I have my experience, and here we are.
Well put. Okay, Aaron, why don't you go ahead and respond, brother?
The question is.
Oh, okay. So it was Aaron and Jackie said they didn't feel they had a negative attitude toward women, as some listeners have suggested. And I thought
Okay.
Monica gave a really good response.
Absolutely. I kind of got caught up in the response and basically just followed the response.
I got you.
The question for a hot second.
Yeah, I did too.
I think that's like it's unfair to give a person the credit of disliking you or just basically hating women when they don't agree with you. Like, because I don't agree never meant I hated you. Never meant that I didn't want to be around you. Never meant that I didn't see a value in having someone like you around. But when we get to the point, I think we kind of use that as a mechanism to not only point fingers or give blame, but like shut down. So I don't think there's any. I don't think women agree with women right now. To be honest with you. So to think that it's just I dislike women as a result of not agreeing is crazy. The best I can put that. Just absolutely nuts.
Okay.
I think probably the delivery, the tone of some of it probably maybe came off. Again, I think hearing it from the other side, the tone may have come off a little for some women, like that may have been also. And again, everybody's not going to deliver stuff always the way we want to hear it either when we have to bring a message. But I think the delivery or the tone, that could have also impacted why. Because I think honestly, like you said, women, and I have to agree, right now there's some women that I'm like, what are you doing? So I agree that sometimes with women, but I think, again, what Pop is doing and what you all are doing and us doing this conversation, I think opening a door for us to have this more mature conversation that allows everybody to listen. But I do think, and I said this on the first podcast, and I know Jackie probably wants to go, is I think there are roots of things, like whoever you all have dealt with, and maybe, like you said, you have women in your life, but it comes from somewhere. I don't think that anything just starts without the root of something. So, and you all parents who have been married for a number of years. So I thought about that after the call also. What did you see growing up versus what did you experience in relationships? And both of you have two different kind of scenarios, I think, to in relationships and, your relationships with your children's parents, whatever. Again, I have a perspective that it came from my father. I saw a horrible father. My stepfather is different, but I loved him. I knew early on, okay, I watched him and I was like, I don't want this kind of person. But I also began to understand where the root of what he dealt with came from. So I think, again, of why, it may have come out as disdain or, you've had experiences with women. And I don't know if it's you and your boys getting together and all y'all talking about, but that conversation of, like I said, your mother, or what is the example of your siblings? There's the root, though, of for all of us in how we see something.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
How many times can you hear a woman say the exact same words? All this change was the face for you to get to a point like, okay, man, this is how women think. This is not just so much as a lived experience. This is if everyone sounds alike, from the good girl, from the Steve good girl to the person that I know literally would, be considered universally as, kind of like the whole situation. At what point do you just get like, okay, man, like this is just kind of how they thinking?
Mm-hmm. For me, and again, I can only speak from my perspective. If I had held on to my father being a womanizer, every man was going to be a womanizer. Like I said, my father took me to Sandy Point Beach in Maryland. My mother wasn't there. And so he kind of used me as a pawn to get this white woman. So I will share this example. It took me a long time, and I shared the example where a black man told me black women stink. And I was like, does your mother stink? I had to really, for a long time, be more open to interracial relationships because of some of those experiences. And he wasn't treating my mother right. But for me, but also I said, you know what, I'm not going to allow myself to be so bitter that I'm not going to not love again because I have too much love in me to give. So I think sometimes we have a choice, but I understand, but I think we have to have more of these conversations. And I hope from our conversations that both of you or anybody listening, male or female, will say, you know what, I still want and hope have the opportunity. Of course, some people won't, but also you have children. And like I said, I just hope that for your daughter, like the biggest thing I hope we all do is what changes do we need to make? I can't control somebody else, but I still want to show my daughter an example that's a good example. So those are some of the things that even though you may have seen it a lot, you're not going to stop looking for jobs because you've had bad jobs. You're not going to stop looking for cars because your car was messed up. You're still going to keep going. And so I just think as we work on whatever within ourselves, sometimes I think we have to shut down some of those conversations too after a point because it can taint us. But I also understand when you've had it so much, I just refuse to give up. I just refuse to not, like I said, I have so much love to give. I just refuse to not give back to the world because I just believe God still has more for me to give. And I promised myself even after divorce, I will not let that keep me from love again.
Okay, I think I heard you was going to follow up, Aaron.
Yeah, right. I just don't see a reason to put any emphasis in my life on relationships as it stands today. I'm 40. Don't have time to waste, and I'm not going to spend it looking for a good woman. Like, first thing, the craziest thing I think you can try to be out here right now is somebody's little boyfriend. Like, that's the biggest waste of time ever. As a result, I've had great experiences with women. I've had experiences that simply put, man, I never want to have again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much as the reason why. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not. It didn't have so much of an effect that I'm saying like, hey, I'm just never going to do this outside of marriage. Like I just don't think marriage ever was intended to be what it is today, which is an agreement, from a man to a government, not so much to a woman to a government, unless she's a breadwinner. So therefore, like as it stands, like this is just perfectly pointless. I understand that there's a need for a union between men and women. I get that. I just don't see what's that beneficial in my life right now.
And
I can be a good person and not a husband.
And I
I
appreciate.
can be a great man and not a husband.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Say that again, Aaron. Say that last part again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, I said I can be a great man and not be a husband. Like I don't think that defines a good guy.
Yeah, and I appreciate. I appreciate all that you're saying, and it all makes sense. You're an individual, and I think Monica kind of hit on that too. I don't think we should judge a person as an individual and what their preferences are. Let's hear from Jackie. I want to make sure Jackie ain't fell asleep over there. Let's hear from Jackie.
No, I'm not asleep. I'm over here taking those right stuff down. So this initially started with the text that you received. My issue, and I deal with this in my work, sometimes in my day-to-day life. It's 2026. You guys realize we never had a gender war until men started talking. As long as women were the only ones talking, we never had a gender war. Babyface made songs back in the 90s talking about, I'll cook your dinner for you as soon as I get home from work. Not a problem. We had never had it. That was not a problem with that, Monica. You was in college up in NMU at that time. And guess what? I was running up there saying, listening to Babyface. You know what? At the same time. So we never had a gender war until men started talking. So now it's 2025, 2026, 2024, 2020, and that divide is out there because men are finally saying what we've been thinking or what's been going on behind the scenes. See, I grew up around some older black men that spoke like this under that oak tree when they had a couple shots of moonshine. There was no women out there. So women are the ones that are shocked by what men are saying. Men are not shocked by what men are saying. So holding a woman's feet to the fire in 2026 to her feels like oppression. So now the sign language, the shame and insult, guilt, and the need to be right from our women, for women. That's what they come about. You hate women. How the hell do I hate women? I got a mother and 4 sisters. I don't hate anyone. I'm just not letting you get away, but you've been getting away with. And because I speak on it, I'm labeled as, okay, you know, misogynist and all this nonsense, which is nuts to me. Also, when I can listen, the tone. The problem I got with the tone conversation is this right here. You never heard it when I said it on 2. Matter of fact, you began to overtalk, not you, Monica, per se, but a woman. You didn't hear anything when I said it, when it was said on 2. Matter of fact, you overtalked me when I said it on 2. So we're going to stop this tone policing. Like, men don't talk like this. We don't, men, when we're talking amongst ourselves, this is how we talk. You just not around in the barbershop and at the bar when we having this conversation. So too many women get wrapped up in the way the message is delivered as opposed to listening to the message. Hold on. Don't tell me you're the most educated and all this. Your emotion when this emotional intelligence that everybody, all these women claiming to have, goes out the window when I say something on a level that you disagree with. You stop listening. So, also, I have a daughter. I'm the one with the daughter. The best thing I can do for my daughter is to show her the image of what a solid father, what a solid man is. Regardless of what her mother thinks, regardless of what society thinks. My job is I have a job. I'm not raising a child. I'm raising her to be an adult when she gets of adult age. And she needs to understand, if she's planning on dealing with men, how men think and how men move. So there's more I can say to that, but I'm gonna leave it right there. Oh no, one other thing. Like, men do not have to experience all women to be able to make a decision or come to a conclusion about all women. We're talking about the majority here. In any number, 50.01% is the majority. Monica, you may be in that 49.09%. And everybody around you may be in that 49.09%. That doesn't change that the majority operates differently than your sphere of influence. Alain.
Okay, Monica.
I was going to say again back to your daughter, and again, definitely like you said, and again, as a woman,
You
the
kind of
father that I've toned down as well. Like I mean, I'm not saying I'm always perfect either, and so there have been moments, but when she sat us down, she said, "I need both of you," because yes, men are naturally one way, women are naturally one way. And I have a very strong faith in God, and I believe that all of us internally and innately can make some changes. If I know I'm in a relationship with someone and sometimes my tone as a woman or a man is going up, if it is not helping the situation, there are times when I may have to de-escalate. So, because one is up here. Now, again, yes, we can get above ourselves and sometimes we can yak. I do not disagree with that. But I also think, again, yes, as a man, you will have a great responsibility. I, as men and women, I think we have a responsibility also with the emotional intelligence piece you talked about, to start showing our children something different in relationships. This is why, for me, I really want to see healthy relationships in school. I feel like there should be, like, and I think I said this before, like financial literacy, what to do after high school. We need healthy relationship conversations of how to negotiate in relationships. I don't mean negotiate for, like, selfishness, but I mean, like, how do you communicate and when you're having an issue or an argument? How do we help two people that are in a relationship communicate better? How do we, because sometimes also with women, sometimes men think it's done and it might not be done yet. It might be still something there that needs to be discussed. But one is saying, how do we come up with agreement like you do in a business? When you're working with a business partner, and that's how I kind of look at it. When you're working with a business partner and you need to solve something to keep the business going, again, the business may be dissolved at some point, but at least we're going to do our best to come up with the negotiation and the rules to do the best we can to make the business last. As you talked about, yes, forever, hopefully, is the case, but even if it's not, I feel like in my situation, my child is kind of she's the business. Our children, the business. Even if we're not together, I owe her a respectful conversation with her father, vice versa, and us when she sat us down and said, "I need both of you." I had to look at me, he had to look at him, and then we had to come together. To see us now, people would almost think wow, are they still married? No, we're not, and we won't ever be again. But I can tell you, because of how we've decided to come together and communicate better, it's even calmer. But we both had to apologize, ask for forgiveness, and say, okay, how do we do this better for her? Because we want her to see. She still deserves to see a better example. So I actually pray for him now. I pray the next woman he's going to be with. I want to be able to get along well with her because of our daughter and if we have grandkids. So I think, like you said, with children, that's why I'm doing the Building Better Together for Next Generation. We have to do a better job. I don't care if a million people, a million women are crappy, a million men are crappy. What can Monica do to have a better relationship with the men in my life? So she sees this, the women in my life, and for her father, vice versa. So for me, yes, as a man, and we need more men. And I tell women, whether you're married or not, let that father be what he needs to be for those children. Because women can't be fathers, even though there are single mothers who have done it. It still takes a man to impart something into the next generation for them to get that example. But I just think, again, sometimes we miss out because we are so, because at 40, you are still young. That's still young. Again, you have that choice, Aaron, but that's young. I'm looking forward to being wild and swinging from chandeliers till I'm 70, 80, 90, 100 years. I'm sorry. Stop the topic. But I'm just saying, sorry, I apologize. Delete that. I'm just saying, like I said, I know what I lived in my life, and I promised my daughter that I would give her a better example than I saw. And so that's, for me, how I just choose to approach it.
Okay. Okay, I tell you what, so that we can kind of get through some of these other points. Let's go ahead. Here's another point here that was made on the last podcast. Jackie, this brother, he said something really kind of profound. I never heard this before. But Jackie said, you can either understand women or love them. You can't do both. Now, I kind of personally see that as a contradiction because, I find it would probably be difficult to love a woman I didn't understand. So, but maybe Jackie can elaborate on what he meant by that.
So, a woman, as a man, you have to understand a woman's nature.
Okay.
And I use this example. When you have a man out here that has access to a bunch of women,
okay,
he has that quote unquote harem.
Mm-hmm.
That man has bring something unique to every one of those women.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't, he would not have access to that woman, to her body, to her mind, to any of that. That man understands a woman's nature, and he's catering to it. When it comes to, in a sense, that love factor. When it comes to that love factor, I think when we run around talking about I love you, I love you, I love you, we lose something. As a man, I think we lose something. I have to protect. I have to watch out for you. I have to look over you. I have to make sure that we're solid over here. And that has nothing to do with love. I think a lot of times, sometimes it makes us weak as a man.
So my head is, I got this spinning here. So now let me make sure I understand what I'm thinking is what you're saying. So do you think you could love a woman?
Do I think you can love a woman?
I'm talking about you. I know I can. I'm asking.
No.
Does
No,
Jack?
no. I know you're talking about me.
Okay.
Not to the point that I'm going to give myself up in the process. No.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Give yourself up. What does that mean? I don't understand. So are you? This is my words. Listen to me. I'm putting words in your mouth. Are you saying that you think that in order to love a woman, you got to give yourself up?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Yes,
Okay.
you do.
Okay.
You give up a significant part of you when you watch this. Men, Pop, watch this. We've been around. We've been around. How many times have you ever had a conversation with just the fellas around? Just the fellas.
Okay.
And the man says, "I'm in." And the man said, "I'm in love with. I'm in love with my wife."
You asking me how many times I've heard that?
You know, just in general, men don't really sit around and say, "I'm in love with my wife."
Well, you're right. I agree with that. Most men don't. Most times we don't.
Okay, so by default, you're experiencing yourself. My point. Now watch this. Let's say we all sitting around the barbershop back in the day, and something happens to our wives. Oh, we got to go handle that. We showing up.
So I would agree with you, brother. Look. I hope people don't think I'm trying to give people the wrong impression. Jackie, when you talk about how we men talk when women ain't around, I know what that's all about. And I
I know
acknowledge,
that. I know that.
I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that, and just like I'm pretty sure Monica and other women talk differently when men aren't around.
Oh yeah, I will tell y'all what we've been saying. No, I'm just kidding. I want to go ahead and stop, but I want to add, and then I know Aaron because I want to talk about the love. But Aaron, go ahead.
I mean, love right now, I think, is the biggest time.
Say that again, Aaron.
Say that again, Aaron.
I said, love right now is the biggest waste of time.
Oh, okay.
Come on, bro.
Like we're talking about women who don't understand that they feeding their kids poison every day. Have no idea what a GM even means. So I'm not fixing to be out here wasting my time with this, man. These are not the same kind of women. Do you think your grandmother would allow the GMO in your grocery store?
So, well, again, a different time, like you said. I mean, very much we from Maryland understand.
Here's the thing. We get to that point of it's a different time.
But I want to talk about love specifically from a different perspective. But go ahead.
Hold on, you gotta let him get that one out of his point.
Understood. It's no matter what perspective it is, we are so far past that. Like too many men have dealt. Once we realize that women will absolutely, when they can't get our attention, they'll use the government. Like that was something that was always understood. Look, ain't no police around here, ain't no government around here. The moment that changed, like it was over. And it was just a matter of time until we got there, but it was over. Like we're past it. I don't think we're ever going back. Because truth be told, that good women are sounding too much like the bad ones. Right. It's too hard to choose. So it's too hard to find that.
Two things, Aaron, I'd like to ask you about from that perspective. One, and we have come a long way, so I'm not going to disagree with you there. Do you, in situations where, for some of the women who maybe we're talking, like, and you said something in the first call, I don't remember how you said it verbatim, but that in a lot of cases, there are more men who don't treat women bad than there are men who treat women bad. There are also a lot of situations where sometimes certain men may have harmed certain women, so father, whomever, and sometimes men have not stepped up also in situations to maybe I'm not even talking about the court, but there have been situations where, again, what is the root of it? And again, in the workshops I'm doing, the men are talking to us about what happened with them or why they feel or whatever. So I think that's something we still have to acknowledge. There sometimes in situations where sometimes, and especially a lot of white males, and I'm using that because sometimes there are men that if more men would speak to certain situations, it would also address some things men have done to women. And sometimes I think men are so tired, some situations maybe certain men aren't stepping up. Because there are situations, and I've seen them generationally, men sat back and women were abused, and I'm not saying abuse is right or wrong. Sometimes it takes another man to speak to another man when he maybe is not being that man you talked about with Jackie's daughter. So that's one piece, that sometimes there are situations that sometimes it's going to take a man saying to other men, hey, that's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that to a woman or a man. Again, I don't think abuse is right either way. So that's one piece. The other piece is the definition of love, and I just truly believe this. We have been, my definition of love, does, whether people believe in the Bible or not, I believe in there are multiple types of love, agape, eros, phileo. There's a lot of types of love. I think that that's part of what love is. There's a sacrificial piece to love that, yes, some people shouldn't be in relationships, because when you talk about that commitment, marriage, or really when you find that person, it's going to take sometimes surrendering your desires, some saying, you know what, because I love them. So I understand what Jackie was saying. But when you really love someone, for me, I have faith in God. And so when I think about, for me, and again, everybody doesn't agree with this, when I think about God dying on the cross for me, that kind of love, that's something that I think, man, when it comes to relationships, marriage specifically, but that is a level of love, and you have to be with someone, vice versa, who's willing to surrender to, I might have to give up a little bit, but not in giving up where you totally lose yourself. It's because, and like Aaron said, maybe, and I don't know what happened in the relationships you were in before either. Sometimes people, I think, also need to get counseling. I think we need to reassess sometimes, because we all come in with something. Everybody's dealing with something, different levels. And so I think when you do decide to love to the level Aaron mentioned, it does mean sacrifice, not to where I totally lose myself, but loving does mean a healthy love also means I'm willing to give a little bit of myself because I care enough about you and what we're building together, because it becomes us and not just you and her, but at the same time, you and her still are individual people. So I think a different conversation needs to be had. And that's why in the schools, I want to see healthy relationship conversations. And quite frankly, on social media right now, we have so many people, and I can speak to a few of them. Like I said, what I faced, one of them is a very high-profile person, to how the advice some of these people are giving, that they should never even be talking about relationships, because behind the scenes, they're probably some of the worst culprits hurting some of the worst people that exist on planet Earth, but they're the ones giving advice and who people are following. I want to follow people who are honest about, yeah, we have issues, but how do we come together and work it out? I don't want to just follow people who are so either it's all bad or it's all, but how are we? If I love you, how are we going to make this thing work? So those are just two of the pieces I wanted to add in.
I just want to throw in one thing, and I'm gonna let you guys go ahead. I just want to throw in just
go ahead, Pat.
Yeah,
I was go ahead.
Yeah, just one little small thing here as far as my thoughts on love. This is my thoughts on love, and I hopefully folks will consider this. For me, when we're talking about love based, especially true love, to me, true love basically comes down to this: never saying no to the person you claim you love, never saying no to a reasonable request. And I'm going to leave it at that. Go ahead, Brother Jackie. You got something?
Let me say this. Tyrese had a video out there a couple years ago when his ex-wife was coming at him. And he had a question, and he said, what more do you want from us? Women are the only ones who complain about getting what they ask for. Women are the only demographic that will complain about getting what they ask for. I'll give an example. You want a man with money. You go out there and find one. Then you complain about the fact he's never at home because he's working all the time. Then he stops working as much, come home, and then you complain about the fact he's always home. It's never enough. It's never enough. Women will move that goalpost based off of how she feels every day. And guess what? I've been dating and been around women 18 years old, 95. women will move that goalpost based off of how she feels on a day-to-day basis. To a degree, stop listening to women. Stop it. Because you will listen to her, she will run that car in the relationship ditch every time. Give what is needed, not what she says she wants. Because what she wants changes day to day. If a woman wakes up in the morning, she's a different person every day almost. Don't let it be the time of the month. She's different for a whole 7 days. So, and guess what? Women say, no, we're not. Well, I tell any woman, you get to date you. I get to date you and come back and tell you what my dating experience was like with you. That's the first thing. The other thing, talking about love. Men for the most part, are looking for love. Men are looking for respect.
That's true.
Because
it was created that way.
Because we're not exactly. So we don't walk around talking about I'm in love. We base our relationship off of, especially when we meet someone that's solid. We base every relationship off of how she treats me and who I am when I'm with her. Makes me feel. Do I want to do better because of her? Does she respect me? That will determine. And look. Looks is what attracts a man. Who she is what keeps the man.
Jackie, can I ask you a question?
Hold on. I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and you mentioned something. A lot of times, women want a healthy relationship based off of the framework that's in her head. She's not basing it off the framework that's what works for society or works for us as a family unit. She's basing it off of the framework that's in her. She wants the man she wants based off of the archetype that she has in her head. But that's not how it works. It doesn't work that way. That's like me saying, I want the 1950s version of Halle Berry. Well, guess what? David Justice said she wasn't about a damn thing.
Boy, you
and
crazy.
Eric Benet.
And Eric Benet. And she
didn't get a chance to leave nobody.
They all left her. And she was gorgeous. Halle Berry will go down in history as one of the most prettiest women ever in history. And she couldn't find a relationship. It has nothing to do with her looks, it has everything to do with her personality and her character. We never talk about it. I never hear a woman say, you know what? His character is strong. His character is solid. That turns me on. That his character, who he is as a person, who he is when the lights go down, turns me on. That makes me want to lock to that man. His character is third on the list. He got to have a certain height, make a certain money, and all that. And what he does for them is what we hear modern women talk about. It's not just she's 30 years old and she don't, and a woman starts begins to realize, oh, you don't carry that weight that you thought you carried. They begin to have these conversations, but it's rarely before that. Like I always say, life is a great humbler. So life will humble you, baby girl. I promise you. If you're 40 years old and never been married, you the problem.
The thing
no man is ever. Go ahead, bro.
Like if you listen to the average black woman talk about their desired man, she's looking to catch the epitome or the human comparison to Moby Dick. My question to that is, you knew you were looking to catch Moby Dick. Would you use red snapper? Would you bait your hook with red snapper? Like to me, it doesn't make sense when you talk to just the average. Like, what would make you think I'm willing to give up all of this just for that? In the used version, man, I'm 40, man. You know, there's only one woman who's ever showed up in my life that was a wife when she showed up. There's only one person that showed up, a good listener, when I stated my desires, she went out of her way to actually try to make them happen. To the point of she was sending me like law school literature from North Carolina, untouched by a man, and literally just a great listener. Like there's only one person that showed up in my life that way. I met her maybe, I think I was 30, 31 at the time. No, it was 2 years before Nia. I was 28 at the time. But everybody, huh?
If she was all those things, was she just a friend? If she was all those things, why didn't you swoop her up?
Because she was a virgin, and I knew that in the event that it didn't work out, I wanted her to leave the same way she came. I wasn't ready to
but they would never.
that I was.
Funny you say that. Women would never believe that we have that thought running through our head. I mess up this woman.
I think I agree. I mean, some of the friends that I have, I wanted to ask a question, and thank you for sharing that. And so she's listening. That's a great way to honor her. Have you ever heard of? Because again, when you go back to love, again, it was created for love and respect, but that's why men have to learn to love more, and women have to learn to respect more because of how I believe God created it. But have you ever heard of the Five Love Languages book?
Yeah, I read.
Because everybody receives love differently. And again, when we talk about that person, whoever that person is, I have to really work at. Let's say Jackie and I were in a relationship. I'm going to have to work at really loving, like you said, Aaron, that woman, the things you asked for, she would listen. That's part of love. I am listening. I'm going to have to love them differently than I receive love, because that's the crazy thing. And I wish it wasn't created that way, but that's where that work comes in. Like, because I receive one way and that my partner doesn't, I have to then be willing or learn to love them the way that they receive acts of service, gifts, time, or quality of time. And I'm not saying all of them right now. So that's the beauty of this thing. And also, I think a big examples, like you said, guys, the old gentleman sitting around the tree. We don't have enough women, Titus women, talking to younger women anymore. I do agree that, and I made the commitment when I had my daughter. I knew I wanted to stay home some. I do feel that it's important, but again, everybody chooses what they choose, for their life. So not my place to judge. But I don't think we're having enough training, teaching, coaching, and modeling. Again, instead of laying down with people, like, because they're attractive on the outside, because they got the money, because she's got the banging body or whatever, we aren't teaching our sons and daughters enough to say, you know what? You do need to look for character. Don't, as a man, just look for the woman who's got the bad body and looks a certain way. Make sure she's willing to, she can fight for you through, those moments when you're having a down day. I believe we need to start having more of those conversations, and I'm seeing them in the workshops we're doing, because we have to start to be able to have any semblance of relationship individually, again, in our sphere of influence. And that's what I believe we're doing here. I know that, the person that I am praying about, and, we love each other. It's a different kind of, the way he approaches things, the way I approach things are different. So I'm like, okay, I have to really pray for God to help me also change some things in me, and vice versa. So I was just saying the love languages, and sometimes you have to love a person the way they receive love, not just how you receive love, for also to be more beneficial.
I'll tell you what, Monica, I'm going to send you Ryan Davis has a stand-up comedy show clip. And he talks about some of that right there. We'll talk about it after I send it to you. Like 20 minutes. Listen to it. But it's not even 20 minutes, it's about 20 minutes long. But I think you want to say something before I go there. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I truly appreciate your perspective, Monica, but I know for me, the desire to look like when I tell you I am so like done, like I don't even approach no more. Like I started conversations with literally, man, like I don't even want nothing from you, but you gorgeous. And ended conversations with you don't even want my number. Like nah. Like I don't come on, bro. Like come on, bro. That's the real thing. Like that is I've this is where I say I'm kind of a victim of my own success in that, right? Jackie asked me one time, he's like, man, why do you always go at the most beautiful women? Come on, I remember that. And I told him, I'm like, man, when I realized that my problems are going to be the same whether I choose her or I choose her, it was a game changer for me. But the real issue is everybody provides a good chase. Once you get the prize, it's hardly ever worth keeping anymore. Like the prize usually damaged goods. But it's only so many times you can show that to a dude. And getting back to just a victim of my own success, like the most beautiful, beautiful women all have sounded the exact same throughout my lifetime. Like some of the women that I've dated, man, like they literally went and got their body done as if they were more fine the second time. It's like, what could a person have done to make you think that this was a good idea? It's the mindset now. Like it's gone. Like I meet good people, rarely good women.
Well, you met me. I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Let's take it back. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold on, Monica. As far as they're concerned, I've got here. I'm talking.
I mean, anything is possible.
Okay.
I'm bringing the possibilities, gentlemen.
Guess what? And guess what? And therein lies the problem with a lot of women. Y'all focus on possibility instead of probability.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's both and. There's a saying that says both and, but that's a whole other conversation. You can have probability and possibility. I believe that even on this call,
rarely you can have possibility and probability. Rarely now the numbers are the same when you take it down that road. The numbers aren't the same. Okay. It's possible I can win the lottery. It's possible I can go buy a lottery ticket tomorrow and win this $100 and some $million. But what is now? What is the probability of that happening?
Hey, let me tell you, like I said to you all, I don't believe in God, but when I saw my God bring my father back to life, I have a faith that even in relationships, like you said, what did Aaron say? That what makes me think that my problems won't change, depending on, I'm saying it wrong, but depending on the woman, whoever she is. Again, I feel like a lot of men also, just like I said, you are ready, and that's your choice, but you already have this wall that you will not sit down, even if that particular woman who you talked about a few years ago came back. And I love that you all said, you think about, I don't want to, harm a woman, but there still may be a possibility, but you all are putting up a lot of walls where you might even miss her in this season of your life because of the wall that you have now put up. Because it might not happen at 40. It might happen at 60. But you have such a wall up, possibly, that you're going to miss her anyway. That one possibility and probability. The same package.
Can I ask you a question?
Maybe. No, go ahead. Yeah.
I'll make sure you got it out. Yeah, and I think I asked this question last week. I mean, last time we was on the podcast, I know I asked it last week at the job. Monica, if you and I went to a zoo and there's 10 lions in that zoo, 10 lions, male lions, could you tell the ones that just finished eating?
No, but I'm just not going to.
Hold up.
And I understand. And you did ask that the first time.
Okay.
You did ask that.
I'm gonna go back to that. Yes. So instead of opening the door and hoping that the first 2 lions that already eaten and they don't want to eat me, how about we just keep that door closed and we just watch the lions on the other side of the glass.
So I tell you
my faith in God is going to be greater. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do. I think what we're going to do, guys. This has been really, really good, but I think we're going to go ahead and end on that note, and we're going to have to continue this conversation because there's probably about 10 or 15 more points that I wanted to get through. But you guys, I tell you, y'all good. I'll tell you what, though, on that note about the lions, brother, you got to stop looking at women like lions. That's your problem.
There's some women who are prowling. I can't deny.
I agree, but that's not the majority of women, though. You got to stop looking at them like lions, brother, and that they're going to eat you.
Let me tell you where you're wrong.
Okay.
You said I need to stop looking at women as lions.
Yes.
And Monica, you're going to have a pushback on this one, and I'm going to give it to you. Matter of fact, we'll address it next week. What do women bring to the table as a wife that we don't get from a girlfriend?
Again, you're talking for me. You're talking covenant.
I'm saying in general. Not you. I'm saying you're going to have pushback because you're a woman. I'm saying men are getting from girlfriends the same thing they get from wives. They just don't. They just don't have the liability to go to being a wife or being a husband.
Well, I think it's deeper than a liability, but that's another level that we're not going to have on these calls. That's a spiritual level.
And that's a good question. You know what? And that's a good question. I think I'm gonna do a little research on that. Also, that kind of touches on one of the topics that Jackie, you, me, and Aaron are going to cover. I don't know if Monica's going to be in on it this Sunday or not. So that kind of touches on that polygamy segment we're gonna do, don't it? Kind of a little bit.
Yes, I have a question, Pop. If we can table this question. And I'm hearing this more, and I think I said it before. There's a number I'll say a number, but men who are also talking about this whole semen retention piece.
What's that called?
There are more men that I'm having conversations with.
What was that again?
Are saying, you know what? I wish I had semen retention. Yeah. I had not laid down with also as many women as I had. I would have maybe a different outcome as well. So you talk about women and all of us. At the end of the day, you're right. There's some women prowlers out there. I cannot even deny, and I know some of them. Women can be treacherous. I'm not going to lie that all women are. So I'll give that to you all. But I also think we're at a place now where I think we all have to start thinking about what beyond the physical. Again, what am I in this relationship for? Like you said, whether you do or not or choose not to. I think if men start looking, I think I told you all my analogy. The vagina, to be quite blunt, the vagina is like a socket. The male penis is like a cord. If you keep putting your cord in that socket, you're going to have friction somewhere. It's going to show up. So men and women, I think, for me, I like to have a deeper conversation about the men think that may impact also in you being clouded on having the opportunity to really enjoy and embrace, as you met the woman who hadn't been touched. She was a virgin before. There's a reason why. Again, you didn't want to, impact her. But I think that's more of the conversation some men are having also about everybody thinking more about who we also have decided to lay with, because it has impacted also why all of us are here, male or female. But that's, again, more of a question, so I didn't mean to.
Okay, no problem.
Let me say that. Let me say something. Let me say something. When it comes to this thing about who we lay with, this, that, another, we can break this down. A woman is more like a solar panel.
I'm sorry, I said that again, Judge.
A woman is more like a solar panel. She got to grab energy from the sun and store it. A man is like a steam engine. Let that steam build up so much, it's gonna blow everything. He has to get it off. That's the reason why men lay down with women. That's the reason why. That's the
I agree, but more men are having the conversation about man. If I had been able to control some of that more, my life would not have been impacted by some of the women I laid with. That's another conversation, so I agree with you. But there's a deeper level in the exchange that happens for men and women anytime we're having sex.
Okay.
It's more physical for men, but more men are going deeper about man. The men who are talking about, I now wish I had not slept with so many women. I wish I had not. So, but another day,
Aaron lives in Atlanta. That's a true statement over there in San Francisco.
Okay. All right. I tell you guys, we're going to have to bring it to a close. Y'all guys are touching on so many subjects that's going to take an hour in themselves. And so, go ahead.
Bring it. Hey, after you shut it down, bring it back, because I want to hear what Aaron got to say on this part right here. I think I know where he's going. I want to hear this.
Well, if Aaron's got something he want to finish the session out on, go ahead and do it now.
Let Aaron finish.
Yeah, we'll let Aaron go ahead and finish.
Go ahead, Aaron. What you were saying, Monica, is absolutely right. The problem with that is you get to watch so many different faces say the exact same thing so much that you become numb to it. Now when you hear those same words, it means nothing. Like the moment you've heard so much that the only thing you see love as is an action, you realize that most women that you're going to run into can never perform love. They can only say it. At that point, you are cooked as a man on the. You'll never get back there again.
Okay. All right. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and finish. Appreciate you folks for listening in. We'll appreciate all of the feedback that you can provide us. And like I said, most of the folks going to be listening to this know me, so you got my contact information. Otherwise, you can go on our, we got a Facebook page. It's called DNA Hardwired, a podcast on common sense. Excuse me, it's a DNA Hardwired, common sense turned upside down. I'm getting my book mixed up with the actual podcast. But that's DNA Hardwired, common sense turned upside down. Also, thank you, Brother Jackie, Aaron, Sister Monica. I really appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Signing off. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you guys for listening.
Bye, everybody.
Don't go anywhere, guys.
Think it through, people.